Welcome back to my channel. This is Demon Slayer 33 and I'm here to do part 6 to the Spirit of Truth. This is just titled The Spirit of Truth. Okay, this sermon is about truth and lies. Specifically, this sermon is about the lies we tell ourselves about ourselves and the truth that helps us confront those lies. Each Every one of us constructs and reconstruct our personal narratives again and again. And the closer we come to the truth of those narratives, the more we will live authentically, resonating with the spirit of truth that is within us. Jesus uses this term, spirit of truth, in today's gospel lesson. He says, "And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to be with you forever." See, this is the spirit of truth whom the world cannot receive because it neither sees him nor knows him. You know the spirit because he abides with you and he will be in you. According to Jesus, we have the spirit of truth inside us, a manifestation of the Holy Spirit who connects us deeper in relationship with God. To describe this spirit, Jesus also uses the term advocate, which can be translated as companion or comforter. You watch that movie, The Devil Advocate? In the original Greek, the word means one called alongside and will also lead to talk about lawyers in courtrooms. This courtroom analogy is helpful for us this morning because the court is the place where we are supposed to be seeking the truth. Witnesses swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. In the climatic scene of A Few Good Men, Jack Nicholson say, which is my favorite movie, "You want answers?" And Tom Cruise say, "I want the truth." And how did Nicholas respond? "You can't handle the truth." This will be my intro on my YouTube before I stop doing it. The truth, that's where we are. The truth, that's where we after. So why is it so hard to find? Well, for many reasons. Historical narratives that resist critical, crucial views about what is narrative. The list goes on. But the reason we're going to focus on this morning hits a little closer to home within the interior life of each of us. I did this the other day. Okay. The week before my ordainment, I took part in the sacrament of confession with my spiritual director, Maggie. I have never done a private confession before, so it seemed like a good thing to do right before I vow my life to a certain way of serving God. Too. Margaret encouraged me to write down on a sheet of paper all the ways I had separated myself from God and other people, also known as my sins. I spent a good long while compiling this list and brought it with me to her church, along with a box of clothes to donate to the church's clothes closet. A physical way of embodying the lifting of burdens that the sacramental confessions can bring. We went up to the empty church. I knelt at the altar rail, and Margaret sat beside me. We began the service, and when it came time to list my sins, I unfolded my paper and read them off. If I recall correctly, I had listed somewhere between 18 and 20 things, including cheating on a math quiz in 5th grade, which for some reason was still burdening my heart 15 years later. But you know, the one thing I did not confess, I didn't confess the absolute biggest way that I was separating myself from God at that time. I didn't confess my addiction to video game, World of Warcraft, which I played every waking minute I could, even when I didn't really want to be playing it. Why didn't I add this to my list on that folded sheet of yellow legal paper? The answer's pretty obvious. I did not want to stop playing, and if I confessed how much of my life the game had taken over, I would have had to stop. So I lied. I lied to my confessor. I lied to God. But most of all, I lied to myself. I lied to myself that my playing of this game wasn't that big of a deal. It was what I did for fun, for relaxation, to blow off steam. It was my biggest hobby, yes. It was just that, a hobby. But that was a lie. Playing that game was a full-blown addiction. And I did not want to confront that truth. So I left it out of my confession. Fool. I'm talking in codes, y'all. In the years since, I lied to myself about many, many things. About relationships that I wanted to be lasting but weren't. About my own competence doing new challenges. And especially about my capacity to keep going in the face of a burnout. I'm sure I'm lying to myself about something right now. But if I knew what it was, then I'd be able to face it. And that's where the spirit of fruit comes in. I am convinced that God's spirit within us is always and forever attuned to the fruit. The fruit in all its shapes and sizes, social, cultural, and personal. Each of us has a turning fork inside of us that resonates with the spirit of fruit. If that analogy doesn't work for you, then here's another one. Back in Scenery, before my World of Warcraft days, I was dating a woman and I was actually certain we were going to get married. Whenever I thought about her, I felt this warm glow in the center of my chest. At least for the first year of our relationship. During the second year, things weren't going quite as well. But instead of feeling around inside and seeing that glow dim, I sort of manufactured a glow. I lied to myself that it was still there, still strong. So when we broke up at the end of my junior year of symmetry, it was news to me, but it shouldn't be. That glow of whiteness was there for a time, and then it wasn't. If I had been fruitful with myself, I could have spared us a painful, slow, downward spiral. Cool. So you may conceive of this search for interior fruit as the turning fork resonated with the sound of the spirit of fruit, or the warm glowing reflection for the brilliance of the fruit. I suspect many of you have other ways to describe it. The important thing is building a practical of international and playful self-examination, losing whatever imagery makes sense to you that will help you locate the spirit of truth inside yourself. The spirit is there. I told y'all I gotta activate it. I fully believe this. The spirit calls us to live as our fullest selves, shedding the lies we tell ourselves and the lies others have told us about ourselves. This is hard soul level work, and that's why Jesus sends the advocate, the companion, the spirit of truth to come alongside us and help us. I invite you this week to consider the story you tell yourself about yourselves. How much of that story rings true? And where are the sometimes ancient lies that seem true because they longer validity? Recognizing those parts of your personal story is not a core, is not a cause for shame or beating yourself up. Rather, uncovering those lies and an opportunity to bask in the glow of the Spirit, who helps us shine the light of truth into those other cramped and cobwebbed spaces within. As you do this work, be gentle with yourself and trust that God had always loved you, lies and all, no matter what. And the more we resonate with the truth within ourselves, the more we'll be able to embrace the eternal truth of God's eternal love, okay? Okay. The real ones will understand. Okay, hope y'all enjoy. Take me a break.